My grandmother used to say, "Sukungama uzotyiwa frogs," and that meant do not rush because you will be beaten or eaten by things that you do not know because you are in such a rush that you don't know where you are going, you know. So it was 2002. I am 8, and we had visitors. I remember an owl came and sat on top of our toilet. My grade 1 teacher used to say, an owl is a bad omen, especially at night. You shouldn't be looking at it. So yeah, I'm young. It's me. I'm looking at the owl, or the owl is looking at me. It came the next day and the next day, and I started being worried. You know, I told my family about it, and they really swept it under the carpet. They didn't talk about it. Weeks later, it rains, and then there are frogs in the yard. Like not one frog or two frogs, like frogs. And we are very far from the water. Like our house is very far from the water, which is very odd to find something like that in the yard. I see it, I tell them something also. They never explained what it meant or what it means. They killed them. Okay. A while later, still the same year, still 2002, it burns where me and my mom sleep. It get burnt. I'm at school that day. I remember that week my grandmother went to church in Cape Town. She came back on Thursday and the house was burning in her arrival. And she was crying and she was crying. I remember coming back from school around past 12. I didn't even stick around at school and play like I normally would, because also I'm excited that my grandmother is coming back with this kaftini and all the yummy foods and just her telling me about her trip, you know. So I'm excited, I'm rushing, I'm going home. I get home and it is packed. My grandmother is crying like somebody had died or she had seen a ghost in the house. And I see where I used to sleep. It is pitch black, dark black, if there is a color that is dark black or a color that is blacker than black. And it's just misty, you know. And my grandmother is crying and it's packed in the house. Neighbors and my other family extended are here, and I'm asking, where is my mom? I'm asking them, "Umama kuphi?" And nobody's saying anything. They don't know or they know. And then hours later my mom comes in the house, gets in the yard, and she realizes it's packed and people are asking where she's been, and she's not even bothered that her room is burnt. Like people are just bombarding her and she's not even bothered. And I'm just this sad that I lost all my toys, I lost all my baby pictures and my clothes. Like I just lost all my things, just like she lost all her things. I also just lost all my things, and she's not worried, but I'm sad. And she's just there chilled. Fast forward, she gets attacked by something and then she has stroke. I don't know whatever that attacked her, but she had stroke. All of a sudden, when we were chilling, she just can't move her body. And we don't understand what just happened because she was fine. And the next thing, she can't move her body. Like, what does that mean? And she asked me to rub her. There was a certain muti that she put in a dark vinegar, a black vinegar. So I'm there rubbing her, you know, making sure she's okay. And I'm feeling sad, like it's all heavy. I feel like I'm gonna lose my mom, like she's dying, this person, like what's happening, you know. Next day my grandmother prepares me for school. I go to school, same thing. I did not even play or stick around. I rushed home. I come back, there is no one at home. I am just wondering, okay, probably she could be in hospital or something like that. I am just wondering where she is. And after, later on, my grandmother comes back and she tells me that no, your mom is not here. She's not coming back anytime soon. She's at a place where she will get help. So I'm thinking, oh, hospital, can I go visit her? Because hospitals have visiting hours. And she tells me about Friday. I think it was a Wednesday because I had to sleep, man. I had to sleep for Friday to come. So Here Friday is me. I'm all up ready, like I'm going to an excursion. I remember I didn't even want to go to school, but I had to go to school. And then came back, and I was eager that I'm going to see my mom. So we take a taxi. I'm probably asking a whole lot of questions and annoying my grandmother that which hospital are we going to if we are taking this route, because I only knew Bara as the biggest hospital then. And anyway, I find myself at Mapeta, and we are walking, and she's like, no, we're close, you're going to see your mom. And we get to a house there by the gate. As we are standing trying to open the gate, I see my mom chilling next to a shack, and I am wondering why is she here, what is she doing here. I get in, me and my grandmother, we get in, and then she's there eating and drinking tea with enamel cup and an enamel plate. And I'm just wondering, why are you here on your knees? You could be home. And I couldn't hug her. They said I couldn't hug her. And I was so excited at the fact that she can walk, she can move now, And in my head, I'm thinking, she's coming back with us. Like, we are here to fetch her. And only after a while it clicked that actually she looks different. There's something different about her. Her skin was very oily and red. Her hair was also oily and red and like bloody, and she had white beads hallowing her head. She had a gold ring hanging with her dread and a seashell, and she had beads, and she was wearing a white vest and a yellow, not a yellow, a sun, a white but a red and black sun bind. And I am thinking, okay, I've seen these kind of people and they are really weird looking. You are weird looking. And I'm busy saying mom, and she's telling me that from now on you can't call me mom, or you're not supposed to call me mom. My name is Gogo Jacobe. And I'm like, okay, now you're my grand. And when you are young, I'm 8, I don't understand what's really happening. And my mom is now my grand. Like, what's really happening here? And in my head, I'm thinking, but this is my mom, I know this person. And I remember my grand said we must leave, and I threw a tantrum. I threw a tantrum. I was like, I am not leaving this place without my mom. I am not going anywhere without my mom. I am not. And they allowed me to sleep there. And she said to me, so as you are sleeping here, you are not going to sleep with me. And I didn't understand, because that's how we were. Me and her sleeping, we were like this, And now she's telling me that I'm unable to sleep with her. That was a very messy thing, very hard thing for an 8-year-old to receive. But also I'm fine because she's here. I feel protected. So okay, she comes back home, they bring her, there's drums, there's things that we don't know, things we can't even talk about, things we can't even ask about. They said you in time you will know these things, And I am there, I am that person who's drumming for my mom, I'm happy she's back, I'm there, And a week later, 2 weeks later, her msamo burns, and we realize that something is really wrong, something is really wrong. And 2 years later, that is 2014, we lose her. And I now that I'm grown, I realize what my grandmother was saying, and her and my mom, what she meant when she said, I am not your mother anymore, I am a gogo. It taught me the lesson of detachment, of not depending on your parents, on being able to be by yourself and being able to grow and make a life for yourself without depending on your parent, you know. So that taught me that. And with my grandmother's lesson, it taught me not to rush into things, you know. It showed me other things. If ever my mom had waited, or if ever something had happened before she went to the healer that she went to, you know, to find out where she's from, what kind of spirits that she possesses, or what kind of spirits that I hear, what do these spirits need, you know. As a healer, how do you work with them? How do you communicate with them? How do you get them to, how do you get yourself to understand them, you know, these spirits and these gifts that you possess as a human being. So that's where I am. It's about knowing where you come from, you know. It's about knowing where you come from. Yeah. And that is all for today.